So there's this woman that I know. She drives ninth edition Honda Accord. That's the Accord produced from 2013 to 2017. Yeah, but our own is the pre-facelift. So she has the car has four cylinder. So I was actually in my car. So she entered her car, to start and drive off. And then as she wanted to go, wow, I mean, she just kept cranking. The car engine refused to crank. It was trying the starter motor. It was just grinding. That's part of the starter that we call bendis. That when instead of it to grab the flywheel, the flex plate, it will not. It will just be grinding on it. So making that grrr sort of thing. I mean, she stayed there for I don't know how many minutes, if not close to 10 minutes. I was just there observing. She just kept doing that. Grrr, it wouldn't move. Of course, our car is automatic anyway. And like I said, it's four cylinder. That's that K24 engine. Um, so which is what you are looking at on the screen. So as she kept doing that, I was like, I didn't even know that four cylinder engine of this Honda Accord uh, have this same issue, because I've always known their VC, which is the J35Y1 and Y2. They do have that problem. Their starter, they are just very useless. Um, Not durable. It's one of their weaknesses, that vehicle. Any Honda Accord produced from 2013 to 2017, they suffer that problem. So I've always known that VC is one of their issues. I didn't know the four cylinder. So as she kept, I mean, I didn't know what to say. It's somebody I know, but then what can I do? You know. She just stayed there. She kept doing that. He kept doing until eventually, for some reason, the thing grabbed and then spin the flex plate engine started. So what I'm bringing to you guys is sometimes people don't even know, especially for this particular model of Honda Accord. You might go and change your starter motor, thinking you solved the problem. No, you didn't, because it's possible that starter is the problem, or was the problem in her case, and then it may be your case is the problem. But for what I've gathered, you know, using my technical mind to understand what users have gone through, especially the my knowledge on the V6 Honda Accord, that particular model. It also affects the flex plate and the flywheel. And others of us that drive 504, 505, they also suffer that issue as well, but not as bad as this Honda Accord. So when this bendy starts to behave that way, so what usually happens is to start to wear out the flex plate. That flex plate or flywheel, there's a teeth on it where the part of the starter, which you call bendis, shoot out, then touch that place, then spin it. So as it's grinding, once that bend is part of the starter fails, so as it's grinding, so what will now happen is it will start wearing that flywheel teeth out, or bend flex plate teeth out. So even when you go and buy a new starter, those places have worn. So it won't be able to grab anymore, even when a starter is still okay. So if you put a new starter, it goes there, it will still do the same thing. But the thing is, it's not always the whole part of that teeth on the flywheel or flex plate that it affects. So Advice usually is when you what's it called? When you change the starter, before you mount it, you turn the flex plate. You turn it like two or three rotation. So when you do that, most of the time your car will, as the starters try to work, it won't get to that place. It won't get to that side of the flex plate teeth that has worn. So um, pending when you drop your engine, because you get a point, the only solution is to drop your engine or drop your gearbox and change the flex plate. Not even with a used one, if possible with a new one, because it is a common issue. So if you're buying any used one, you are going to likely suffer this problem. Likewise, if you're buying a used starter, they also is a common. See, once something is, it's just like I tell people that drive Peugeot with EW10J4 engine. If you're buying ignition coil for that vehicle, for that engine, do not buy a used ignition coil, because if it's OEM, then you are going to still suffer the same fate sooner than you expect. Because that the one that the coil they sold those engines from new, they were not good, they were not reliable, or they didn't last long. So buy any used one that probably came from an engine, the one that the engine it was removed from came from, it was the same coil that the vehicle was produced with from new. Then sooner or later you still fail again. So you can also avoid the OEM or that particular, unless you know the brand, which I always tell, which is it Sagem? You avoid it. So same thing with this Honda Accord. You can see the engine. They call it Eight Dreams. Like I say, it's one of their KS series model. So they also do suffer this. So this is one of the things you need to know before you buy that model of Honda Accord. Because most people will not tell you, but you suffer that. You keep buying stuff. Number one, always go for the new one. Because buying a used one, see, for what I've gathered, I'm not talking about Nigerian users. People might think, oh, it's because they're already second hand. No, I'm talking about people that purchase them new. No, remember that most of this, the one I'm talking about is a North American spec. The one people that started using them from new suffered this issue. Less than 30,000 kilometers, they will fail. Less than 50,000 or around 30 or 20 something thousand or 5 years of ownership, they will fail from new. They'll buy another one, before you know it, another 10, 20,000 kilometers, they will fail. New, original starter. So that's why I say it's a weakness they have to, if you are buying this car, you have to live with. Now, I don't know how much a new starter cost for this particular engine. And the funny thing, this engine is very difficult to access. Very difficult, the starter. To remove it and put another one, man. So it's not something you want to be going to every time. So if you are putting something there, put a new one. Even though it's a weakness, but at least to serve it for a long time. But it's also possible that there's a particular, because there will be aftermarket, it won't be necessarily OEM. So there will be aftermarket that may even last longer. Or maybe the OEM has been revised. So if you order OEM, may not be the same brand or the same quality of starter that they produce the car with when they were seeing you. So what I would suggest is seek out for, maybe there's a particular brand of starter, new one that lasts longer. But then you also have to deal with the flex plate or flex flywheel issue. So once those things have worn out, probably the only option you have is to change. And to change them means you remove the engine or remove the gearbox before you can access and remove the flex plate. The reason why I'm mentioning flex plate most times is because most of these cars they come in automatic. So automatic you have flex plate. If it's manual, you have flywheel. Now for those of us that drive 505, when this thing, because they are starter too, have this same kind of issue, they don't actually last that long. It's only modern ones that, even though they may be having issue, but the bendis issue, you can hardly drive cars produced in late 90s, Peugeot cars that will have bendis issue. It's usually mostly like the the motor inside it, the one they call armature, that will fail, or the brush or something. But that bendis, no. But the earlier Peugeot cars, 404, 504, 505, be ready. Their bendis don't, they are not durable. It doesn't matter how new the starter is. Though, of course, you now have aftermarket new ones. So maybe those ones will serve longer, you know. So, what we do in the 504 case is, those of us that drive the manual mostly, um, the teeth on the flywheel can be detached. It's possible that it can be done on Honda, the manual Honda. I don't know, manual Honda flywheel of this model 20 edition. But flex plate for the automatic, I don't think you can change it, the teeth on it. But for 504, 505, that's all those 1.8, 2.0 liter petrol engines. I think the VC itself, I can't remember. I know I've seen I can't remember the flex plate on my 505 V6. No, the flywheel I meant, whether that teeth, because it's like a ring. It's basically a ring, whether it can be detached. So what we usually do is we'll detach it from the flywheel. We call it flywheel board. That's the local name we call it. When you detach it from that board, you turn it the other way around. So the side of it that used to be at the back, because when the starter the bendis in the starter shoots out, it touches only half of the teeth. It doesn't really enter the full teeth. So only half of it that is pains. So when that happens, you pull out the ring from the flywheel board, turn it the other round, then the side that was facing in the front before, where the starter used to work on, will now face inside. So the side that won will face inside, the side that is still good will face outside. So that's what we usually do. When we do that, then when we pull it out, then sometimes we weld it. Before, it won't be welded, but when you do the welding, you want to, or you change the flywheel. They're not that expensive anyway. So I hope it makes sense if you drive Honda and you are having this starter issue. At least you know that your own case may not even be the starter motor. It may be the flywheel or the flex plate. You see, you're not the only one suffering that. Anybody telling you otherwise, no, they don't have that issue, is lying. I'm talking about people who started using it new before it even gets to you as a second or third user. They probably have replaced that starter many times before, before you started using the car. So don't think, oh, because you got it, what we regard as Tokumbo. The engine has never been touched. It's a lie. It's a major weakness. Um, Anyway, you can read further on that. Then also note, before you decide to buy that model of Honda 9th edition, also understand that it's a direct injection engine. And by I won't call it standard, but it's a common known issue with all direct injection is engine. What I mean all, I'm referring to majority. So irrespective of brand, their common issue or majority of them suffer oil consumption, rapid oil consumption. That's one of their issues, including the ones in Peugeot, talking about THP engines or generally EPCs engines. They suffer they consume oil way higher than normal previous engine designs. So um I'm talking about those multi-point injection system or whatever. So this direct injection, it means, I think for this Honda Accord, is it not 0W20 or 5W20 that is recommended for this Earth Dream engines? Talking about four cylinder, yeah. you'll be surprised you have to be buying a lot inside, keeping in the boot. When you drive for some kilometers, you top up, otherwise you damage your engine. So that's one of the things they suffer from. Yours might not be that more high yet, but it will. Like I say, it's a common issue. So I want people to be prepared. If you are buying this car, or know that these some of the things you have to, weaknesses you have to live with. No car that doesn't have the weakness. So you just have to, I'm letting you know this one. The V6 one don't really suffer that issue that much, except when if it's automatic uh, transmission on that Honda Accord, especially the saloon version. The what's it called, J35Y1. So that V6 engine is that VCM. So if you don't deactivate the VCM, then it will start, as your price, the oil consumption will increase. It will start consuming oil. But the manual version, which is J35Y2, no, they don't consume. They don't have that VCM, so they don't suffer that problem unless the engine becomes weak. So, but other than that, no rapid oil consumption like that. So if you are buying the V6 version of this car, which is basically automatic, most of them, I'll recommend deactivate that VCM. I've done a video how to do that deactivation, what you need to buy and how to install that device for it to stop working, to elongate that engine lifespan. Forget about that three-cylinder. You say, oh, three-cylinder will shut down. You drive only of three-cylinder. Fine, you reduce your fuel consumption, but you kill your engine. It was a bad design as far as I'm concerned. So do it. I know most people Nigeria may not know about this. So go and do it so that your six cylinders work constantly once your engine starts running. Um, so the V6, like I said, by design, no, they don't really consume oil. I'm not sure they are direct injection engines. I can't confirm that. I'm not sure. But at least I know they don't suffer that problem. The manual ones hardly have that problem at all. It's only the automatic ones that have not done that. Because my point is, some people may not know there's a difference, even though it's the same car. It has V6 badge. It's not the same engine. The manual has a different engine, automatic has a different engine. Yet it's the same vehicle, same production year. So just because it's V6, they are V6 doesn't mean they are the same. The manual V6, they are different. They look similar. You can call them basically same engine, but they're not identical. It's not different design. So the V6 one, the manual V6 lasts longer. That's one. It was actually 8th edition Honda Accord that I saw. You know, remember there was a time I was looking to buy this 9th edition. I really, there was no way nothing I did not do. At a point, I was like, okay, even if it's 8th edition, the coupe manual version. So there was one I saw, though by the time I saw it, but it's a long story anyway. But the point is, it was a manual V6, and they put it for sale, but the person changed the engine. I went and put automatic V6 engine in the manual. So I knew for the weight go that there's no way it's going to work well. The wirings are not the same, ECUs are not the same. So many things are wrong. It couldn't have worked well. So the only way is you are buying that car. Hopefully they've not tampered with the ECU or tampered with the wiring, engine wiring. So you have to change that engine. Hopefully, we'll be able to get the manual version of that engine in Nigeria. So these are things you need to know before you go into that 9th edition Honda Accord. They are good cars, both the 4-cylinder and the V6. Personally, I'll go for the V6 anyway. So, but at least know this thing which most people will not tell you, especially in Nigeria, their weaknesses. Okay, so I think that's all for now. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.